was a young boy, Grandpa and I would often catch fireflies from dusk until bedtime. He would run and jump and chase after them like a deer, I suppose, as relentlessly as I. Now mind you, sunsets in Indianapolis weren't all that special. They tend to be gloomy and boring, just as Indiana days are.
To fall back, revealing the startlingly beautiful face of Amarantha. Her face contorted in secretive agony. Her slender form swayed with the growing storm as she screamed incantations into the wind.
The Jared in this story is my husband. This is the man that I married. And I met him on November 19th, 1999. So, this random boy emailed me yesterday afternoon. He said he had read across my profile on Yahoo, and he felt as if he had found his soulmate. He was actually cute. Next entry. Alright, so I didn't mean to leave it at that he was just cute. He's really sweet and smart too. He's emailed me like 1,000,000 times already. And last night I talked to him in a chat room for a few hours. I am so happy. I don't care that he's an internet boyfriend. It makes him no less real to me.
My grandfather cried out and slowly fell to the ground. I too screamed as I reached the bird feeder and saw the sputtering firefly on the verge of death. I had no idea what to do. It couldn't be shot as you would a dying horse, or given CPR as you would a dying human. Really? There's no, I couldn't imagine a humane way to kill a firefly. What will we do without a gun? How will we solve this terrible problem? Perhaps we could smush it. As the firefly made a last desperate attempt at flight, my grandfather began to cry. He wept not only for his lost firefly, but also for his lost youth. You're welcome. In case you hadn't put the metaphor together. He cried for nearly an hour. As I was thrust into an uncomfortable position which I did not know how to handle. I was so shocked to see my 71-year-old grandfather crying for a freaking hour. And so, not knowing what else to do, I said to him what my father had said to me upon the death of my turtle. We'll give him a nice funeral and he can go to Firefly Heaven, I told Grandpa. Grandpa chuckled through his tears and he said that he thought I had a fine idea. And so that night, just before bedtime, my grandpa put the remains of the little firefly in a beautiful gold velvet jewelry box and buried it beneath the bird feeder. The doomed firefly was the last one my grandfather ever caught. What story is complete without death? Less than a week after the death of the firefly, I was standing in a smoky funeral hall looking down upon my grandfather's starkly unalive body. He had died of a massive heart attack, alone in his house.
Sad face. Jared called my work yesterday to tell me he loved me and just to say hello. But for some reason, my coworker who answered the phone said I wasn't there. And I totally was. Oh! That is so unfair!
Oh my God.
Next entry. I spent pretty much all of yesterday cutting words out of magazines and making them into little phrases and poetry for Jared.
Oh my gosh.
I think he'll like it. I hope so. It really took me all day to make.
I knew that Grandpa and the firefly needed to be together, so as they lowered the coffin of my father's father into the ground, everyone at the funeral threw a rose. Everyone, that is, except for me. I threw the jewelry box into his grave, knowing that while roses would wilt and tears would dry, the spirit of the firefly would always be there with my grandpa. Yeah, that's it. I said it wasn't going to be that bad, but it was. It was really bad. It was super bad. So, whew.